Cheers COD family, it's your princess. As content creator, I got access with a test account to the brand new Season 3 Rise of the Dragons. And in my today's video, I want to give you a summary of the new season policies and the new season feature with the Way of Hsi-Ho, where you have 6 powerful skills here again. Stay around with me in this video to get all the infos you need to know. Stay tuned. Welcome to my new video, and if you enjoy my content, please subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell notification and share it with your friend, because I think this video is really interesting for the whole COD community. And who was already earlier in my live stream, I can link it here in the info cards, saw all the details. We went through the new maps, through the new behemoths and everything. But today I want to give you a short and sweet summary of the season policies over here and also the 6 new skills we can activate and use in the battlefield. So let's look into the policies over here. We have to begin with a march speed over here that we can buff with 30%. Then we can a CP recovery speed, which goes up to 10%. We have the prestige gained, what is in the beginning really important when you start a season, of 20%. And we have also the amount gained of the Nian, what you gather from daily quests and chests. And I think this will be a very important policy as well, because you need it to up-level the 6 new skills and to up-level the hero that you get them free. So the next policy is over here, the Legion capacity. We know that already. You get an extra buff up to 5%. Over here we have the daily elixir production and the daily resource healing. When we go over here, it's resource healing cost reduction up to 10%. We have a Warped warrant we can obtain over here, and we can get a stamina limit bonus of 50. This one is new as well, because you can choose in between if you want to max the energy of the percentage you get for the new 6 skills, or if you want to increase the recovery speed. So it kind of depends. We have to go into that a little bit more detailed when we see it and watch it after. Next, you can choose here the elixir capacity up to 300%, or the other one gives you elixir production speed of 2.5%. Here we have the stockpile days and the daily resource healing in percentage as normal known. Then we get another new policy over here where you can reduce the cooldown of the 6 skills we will watch after in the way of the new hero which bring it to us. And here you can choose which of the 3 powerful skill combinations you wanna reduce the cooldown, and that you can choose after you know what skills are gonna be the most one you will use. We have in the policies another resource healing cost. You can see it over here, minus 15%. So that is additional to the resource healing we already had earlier. Then what we already know is the rallied army damage can go up to 10%. The same like for the garrison legion damage, what is up to 10% as well. And then now we come to a massive change. The healthcare policy changed a little bit, and we will go through that. The first one is benevolence. Here the care capacity limit of 10 million units is here. So when your hospital is more than 10 million, every units after which you would normally get as self-wounded in the hospital will die. And you have here extra a daily elixir production of 500k, resource healing cost is reduced by 10%, and the Legion march speed is plus 5%, and you also have 200% buff on the elixir capacity limit. So for a free-to-play, that is a lot of new free healing you can get. The second one is reprieve. Here is the care capacity, 7.5 million troops. the daily elixir production 200k. Resource healing is a little bit higher than the first one with minus 20%. And you have also the march speed for 5%, and the elixir capacity limit is increased by 100%. But now we come to the biggest change. We have here the diligence policy, and the care capacity is reduced to 5 million troops. And that is huge because every player who has 110 million power or more have more than 5 million troops. So you have to be very, very careful what rallies you're gonna take, how you play in the battlefield, that you always heal your troops and be up to date, because everything more in your hospital than 5 million will die due to the lack of care. And that is a huge, huge change over here. You have a buff on the daily resource healing of 5 million troops. The resource healing cost is minus 20% as well. And what is also new is we get a damage deal buff over 15%. And what can I say? This is an insane good buff. So for me, as a 102 million player on my main account, I definitely will go for the stamina limit bonus on 50%. So I checked a little bit earlier the stamina. We have the 100 stamina on the hero. So from the policies, you can get the 50 I showed you already earlier, plus the 50%. So 200 stamina will be the hero stamina you can get when you take the diligence as well. But I can imagine a lot of big players have to think about that carefully because they have tons of troops, millions of troops, and that is kind of forcing you a lot into resource healing. So we have to see if the devs let it like this or if they're gonna make some changes. We have to see how that will go. Then we have again the Legion capacity, which give you additional march size of 20%. We have another warrant we can get over here. Here we have normal infantry, cavalry, archer, and mages attack bonus, which goes up to 10% when you have maxed it. Then there is another healing policy you can choose if you want to have a daily free elixir production of 100k, or if you want to increase your daily resource healing. I think there is really the way to go for the elixir because there is a lot of more resource healing you can already put on. Here you can again increase your elixir capacity 600%, or you go for the speed over here, which is up to 5.5%. And here we have again the stockpile days, or you go for the daily resource healing percentage. At the end, we have the bitter end. We know that also legions deal 5% more damage. When both sides in a battle have this policy, enable 2% of both sides self-wounded units will die. So here we come to a main important point. You can manually disable this by yourself. But you see, we got some changes in the policy. So the make way policy is finally removed. The make way policy was basically making you refill any alliance building like bastions, etc., and you could not be interrupted. And I can show you real quick over here. I got not a Kraken overnight with 640 million. That is just a test account where everything is maxed. But we can see over here, the bastions are still here, so we can expect some bastion fights. So getting rid of the make way policy is a good step, in my opinion, right here. But there is something missing what was in the policies before. When we look here in the Ossuary, normally you could increase the proportion revived at the end of the season. So over all the dead troops you get during the season, there is a percentage what you get back after you finish the season. And with the last policy in the last season of Strife Dragonfall, we could increase this number to 50%. So you basically got half of the dead troops you had during the season back. I don't see this policy yet, so for now it looks like only 30% of your dead troops you will get returned after a season ends. And that is a huge, huge change. So let's come to the new feature and the Way of Hsi-Ho. So we have here that San-Yueh And you have to up level this one. It's for me already in phase 12, maxed level, so I cannot look back what are the daily quests and stuff you have to do. But what I can definitely say is in zone 2 and zone 3 and into the dragon zone, you have to defend with your alliance members together this shadow citadel, and there you get the currency you need to get her on a higher level, yeah, to increase the phases. And I can kind of assume you need more phases, higher levels to increase the skills, to maybe, yeah, unlock more skills. So we have to see how that goes. You get 1000 on the level 3 Shadow Citadel, but there's also level 2 and level 1. The level 1, you can see when we click over here, gives you 100 of that currency, and the level 2 gives you 400 of that currency. And beside, we saw it in the policies, there must be some daily quests you have to do to increase that level. But when you have it maxed, like I have now here on the test account, you have 3 pairings of skills, and you can only activate 1 after 2. So let's look into the first one. You have to see here, you have some energy over here with that kind of flower show over here, and it restores 1 point of energy every 30 minutes. You can also have the extra policy you saw earlier where you can make that a little bit faster. So the first 2 skills you can choose in between is, the first is this one, Seasonal Shift. San-Yueh accelerates the flow of time within your city when cast reserves in all resource buildings in your city are filled to maximum capacity. And I assume the higher you level up this feature, you can get some extra buffs over here, and I will show you that real quick. You can here extra gain the gallantry buff for 30 minutes. Heroes and warpaths can depart your city as long as they have at least minus 40 stamina. So you can leave and go into negative stamina. Second buff, gain the prosperity buff for 480 minutes, increase Legion gather speed by 50%. That is probably something for the end of the season when all the fighting is done. Then we have to gain the respite buff for 60 minutes, increase stamina recovery speed of heroes and your warpaths by 50%. When you go to the next line and you unlocked the aptitude 2, grants elixir equivalent to 6 hours of production at your shaman hut, maximum 80k elixir each time. So you get free elixir. Instantly enact a policy you are currently working on toward enacting. I mean, that you will maybe use on a big policy, but I don't know if that is so important. Summons the goblin merchant in your city. I think that is not something you want to go for. And on the last stage, number 3, you gain 1 warrant, and you also have here Great Wall. You can choose, activates a 24-hour shield, replaces the duration of any existing city shield. In my opinion, that is the weakest skill over here from what I saw, because it just gives you that extra resources. And when we look at the other option we have over here, that is, in my opinion, much more powerful. But you see, everything has a cooldown and energy cost. And this one has a cooldown of 24 hours and energy costs of that flowers of 5. And when we look at this one, that has a cooldown of 2 days and energy cost of 5. You saw in the policies, we can reduce the cooldown, and we can reduce it when we go back. That is maybe an important thing to know. Let's look at that real quick again in the policies over here. So for example, you go into that one, you can increase that part 24 hours. So you could reduce that skill I show you now from 48 hours to 24 hours. So the treasury is, San-Yueh opens a secret store known as the Timeless Treasury. The Timeless Treasury opens for 4 hours at a time, allowing players to purchase items using merits. So additional merits you have left over from the merit store or you want to use different, you get this store. And I summoned it already earlier. It has a duration of 4 hours. And you see already here, you can get 1 million elixir for 1 million merits. But now we come to the special things. When we click on it, here on the first one, you can choose in between double your CP points, you can double your prestige, or you can double the elixir for the sale in Timeless Treasury. Means you can already get 2 million elixir for 2 million merits. Then the next one makes neon available for sale in the Timeless Treasury. The neon you need when you need to up level still to the maximum level of 12, so that could be important. Then makes mana available for sale in the Timeless Treasury, so you can buy mana with your merits, with your leftover merits. Makes warrant available for sale in the Timeless Treasury. That's maybe something for the end of the season. And then it comes to the main important part. Here you can either say, if you don't have so much merits left over, you can reduce the prices of items in the Timeless Treasury by 20%. So it gets already cheaper, and you could get, for example, 1 million elixir for 800k merits. Or you choose that one, and that is even more important for the big power accounts who maybe need to clean their hospitals with the new policies and have a lot of merits over, allows you to refresh items in the Timeless Treasury. So if you took on the first one here that you double the elixir for sale, and then you can refresh it for free, that makes you can get 4 million elixir for 4 million merits for free, with a cooldown of 2 days, what you can also reduce to 1 day. So basically, if you make 4 million merits each day, you can get 4 million elixir each day. I mean, that is a huge buff and can help a lot. If it makes up the changes in the Diligence policy, I don't know, but at least it gives us some additional free healing, and we kind of like that. So let's go to the other skills options we have here. Now we go into skills which helps us in the battlefield. The first is Race of Remedy. It has a cooldown of 30 minutes and energy costs of 30, so it is much more expensive on that energy costs, but you can activate it also much more often. San-Yueh casts Race of Remedy, lasting for 20 minutes. During this time, your legion's lightly wounded units are healed after each battle, gaining healing equivalent to 50% of the number of units they defeated in that battle. Race of Remedy can heal up to 1 million lightly wounded units each time it casts. So here we have a big buff, for the healing. And when we look a little bit, what you can extra choose is here. You can choose in between legions, gain 15% attack while this skill is active. Legion gain 5% more merits while this skill is inactive. Is active. And or legions suffer 5% fewer self wounded units while the skill is effective. The second one, you can choose in between increase the skill duration by 10 minutes. Healing effect increased to 60% of defeated units. So you can either make the 20 minutes to 30 minutes, or you increase the healing 50% to 60%, or you choose reduce the skill's energy cost by 5. What can also have an effect, because 30 energy cost is a lot. So you maybe want to save some energy to use the skill more often, because the cooldown is very short. Healing from Race Remedy is granted during battle rather than at the end. Your legions are healed once every 5 seconds during the battle, but the maximum amount of healing is reduced 800k. So this gives you a lot of healing buffs over here. So it kind of depends on the situation, which one you want to choose. Your legions no longer receive healing from Race of Remedy. Instead, they deal 1% more damage with every 100k enemy units they defeat, up to a maximum of 20%. Effect does not end upon leaving battle. So what we can definitely say is you need to kill 2 million enemy to get the full effect of 20% damage dealt. So we have to see how it works into the game, but that is the first skill you can choose over here. And the second option you have is, in my opinion, super interesting as well. Cooldown 30 minutes, energy cost 30. San-Yueh summons the Shades of Past heroes to battle, summons a special legion near your city that lasts for 20 minutes. So you get a sixth march, a sixth legion on the field for 20 minutes. The legion is led by a random hero equipped with a random artifact and a random warpad. I assume you get all for the perfectly matching together, yes? Like all for archers, all for mages, all for infantry, etc. You have control over the legion and can send it into the battle and use it to obtain merits. The only part what I don't understand from here right now is, will it use the troops of your own legions or will you get them additional? And will they after cause you hospital or not? That is the only question I have over here because that is not clear for me. But if it uses additional legions you don't need to have in your city, plus it doesn't cause hospital, that would be great. But let's look at the extra buffs we get over here. Here you can choose that you guaranteed a summon a melee legion. You can guarantee summon a ranged legion. And you can choose increase the legion capacity by 50k. So you have instead of 300k, 350k march. But I mean, you probably need either that or that one. So you will probably choose one of these. What is the sixth march you read right now on the field? Do you rather need an infantry or do you need a ranged unit to do more damage from the back? Next one, number 2. Guaranteed to summon a legendary warpad or a legendary hero or a legendary artifact. So now it comes to my point where we will see how powerful will that skill be. Because if there is still, I will probably go for the hero or artifact, something of that. But if you get only epic heroes or epic artifacts here, it depends how much the chance is to get a legendary and how powerful that march is at the end. Because I'm used to fight on very big KVKs with very strong enemies. So for me, a march only works if everything is maxed, if everything is legendary, then I can deal some damage. But the matchups I normally get is mostly no more T4 existing. It's 98% T5. So you really need, a good buffed hero, a good artifact, and a good warpad to do a good performance. The next one is super interesting as well. Now you can choose in between. When a summoned legion casts a rage skill, it has 100% chance to gain 30% attack, 30% defense, and 30% march speeds for 10 seconds. That is the buff only for the new legions you have summoned. So basically only for your 6th march. But you see that's a huge buff. Or you choose when a summoned legion deals damage, your other surrounding legions, means the other 5 legions you are using on the field, gain 15% attack, defense, and march speed for 5 seconds. So it is half of it. Half of the percentage with attack, defense, march speed, and half of the time with 5 seconds. This effect can trigger once every 15 seconds and does not stack. But that is also a huge buff in the battlefield. So that is looking really good for me, and I can't wait to test it here on the account. But I choose the wrong one by mistake, and when I want to click on reset here, I cannot reset the skills yet. It's maybe important to know, because when something is on cooldown, and that will go on cooldown of 2 days soon, so I have to do the policies to reduce that and then maybe get it enabled. So make sure you can only reset that when no other skill are on cooldown. So it is not like that you can just change the 2 skills randomly. You have always to reset it. And I can assume, we are here on a test account, there will be also an additional skills cannot be reset again for another X days. Yeah, so I'm excited how many days that will be, because that makes a big difference as well. Last but not least, let's come to the last 2 skills over here. We have the Dimension Duel. Cooldown only 15 minutes, energy cost 10. San-Yueh ventures into battle with the selected hero and grants them the special skill Dimensional Duel. After casting the skill, the legion selects 1 enemy legion and challenges them into a dimensional duel that takes place in a pocket dimension. In the pocket dimension, neither player can command their legion, and artifact skills are cast automatically. Legions outside the pocket dimension cannot affect the duel. When either side is defeated or the duel duration exceeds 5 minutes, the pocket dimension will close. So you basically choose with your legion, another legion, and say, come on, we go into our own circle and we duel each other and no one can interrupt. So here you can also add legion deals 20% more damage in all duels. After Legion launches and wins a duel, it heals lightly wounded units equivalent to 20% of the number of units in defeated during the duel. After the Legion launches and wins the duel, it gains 100% march speed, which gradually reduces over 10 seconds. In number 2, you can choose in between increases this skill's casting range by 2 minutes, reduces the skill's cooldown by 5 minutes, so you can get it again after 10 minutes. After the Legion launches and wins a duel, it gains 50% more merits from the battle. On the last one, you can choose in between after the duel, it deals 15% more damage for 60 seconds. It depends what kind of duel you pick. I mean, if you come with your calves and maybe choose an archer march, and you or you are an archer and you choose a mage's legion and you have a lot of troops remaining, then the 15% more damage for 60 seconds can definitely have an effect on the battlefield. After the legion launches and wins a duel, it can cast Dimensional Duel again with the next 5 minutes. Casting Duel again does not cost energy and resets the skill's cooldown. The skill can be triggered up to 1 time consecutively. So it means you can just go directly into another duel, which can be interesting too. It kind of all depends on the situation. Then we have here another, in my opinion, that is super interesting to use on the battlefield. Temporal Trap, cooldown 15 minutes, energy cost 10. San-Yueh ventures into battle with the selected hero and grants them a special skill, Temporal Trap. After casting Temporal Trap, up to 5 legions within 10 meters of the legion gain time freeze for 10 seconds, including the legion itself. So your own legion and 4 others around. While time freeze is active, legions cannot move or take damage. This effect can trigger once every 60 seconds. So that basically means, in my opinion, it looks for me like a better version of the Ice Ring artifact, where you can just freeze, stand there, you cannot take damage, but you can block. But now it's not only with 1 legion with the Ice Ring, it's with 5 legions, so it is much more powerful. How can you increase this skill? Lightly wounded units and friendly legions are healed every second during time freeze, healing 1k. So you can even heal them when they got damaged before. Legions lose 50% march speeds for 10 seconds after the time freeze ends. Friendly legions take 20% less damage for 10 seconds after time freeze ends. So yeah, you rather make them walk away slower, or here you can just go for it that you take less damage after. So it has an additional debuff. Increase maximum number of legions affected by time freeze by 5. So we are not talking anymore about 5 legions over here. You can increase the skill up to 10 legions. Or you say it reduces the skill cooldown by 5 minutes, or it increases the duration of time freeze by 15 seconds. So it's not 10 seconds over here, it's going up to 25 seconds. That is a really, really long duration. And now we come to the most interesting part. With the third one you can choose over here is, you either say time freeze only affects your legions and other friendly legions of your alliance members, so you take that time freeze skill for yourself, or you say, no, I don't take it for myself. Time freeze only affects enemy legions. I will take that on the enemy. So you can choose, will I use the freezing option for me, my legions around, and my alliance members' legions around, or do I cast it on the enemy? And that makes it even more interesting. So this is a quick summary for all the new skills over here, the 6 skills. I didn't see long-range warfare as well because I know that question will come, but please let me know in the comments below, guys. We are here now on a test server. The devs gave us the first time the opportunity as content creators to share with you before what are the features upcoming. We can give feedback, and they also said in the new Call of Dragon video on the Call of Dragons YouTube, you can also address every concern, suggestions, complaints, etc. to the devs. They are open for feedback. So please let me know in the comments below what are your thoughts about the changes in the policies, in that new features, and stay around here, subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell notification. I will live stream a lot with all the new features in the next 2 days, and save the date. 1st of March, 14 UTC, we have a big battle here in Dragon Zone, and we are going and fighting here for the very new dragon. Let me see if I can, yeah, I can summon it real quick here. That is the new dragon, and we will see that soon, the new shadow dragon. And we will also try out the new other behemoths. When we look, let me go back. There's the other behemoths I can show you real quick. What we will capture here together with other content creators, with my team. We will go for this as well. So subscribe to the channel. You will know when I will go live again or share a new video. And drop a like on the stream and share your thoughts. I'm super interesting. We are the Call of Dragons community, and I think it is super important that we give feedback to the devs and about all the changes they made, about all the thoughts. And I'm super excited. I like the new 6 skills. That gives me, in my opinion, so much more possibilities to play around and make the battlefield more interesting. So yeah. Hopefully see you soon. I wish you all the best. Till the next live stream or video. Happy gaming and much love. Your princess.